In less than 30 minutes, American Airlines will launch its first direct flight to Venezuela in almost 7 years. Florida Congressman Carlos Gimenez joins me now. Is this the beginning of a normal relationship now that Maduro's gone?
I believe it's a step in that direction, but I think that we're also dealing with Maduro's remnant regime, which is Delcy Rodriguez. And so in order to get back to normalcy, we need to get back to a democratic and free Venezuela. We don't have that right now. Delcy Rodriguez, I call her the interim dictator because she's the illegitimate vice president that assumed the presidency after Maduro was taken out. And so we need to get to elections as soon as we can, and then we can get back to normalcy with Venezuela.
Now, Congressman, Secretary of State Rubio, he's sending a warning about Cuba. That's something you know a lot about. Watch this.
It can get better, but in order for it to get better, they do need very substantial and serious economic reforms. Those serious economic reforms are impossible with these people in charge. It can't happen. And these people in charge aren't just economically incompetent. They have rolled out the welcome mat to adversaries of the United States to operate within Cuban territory against our national interest with impunity. We are not going to have a foreign military or intelligence or security apparatus operating with impunity 90 miles off the shores of the United States. That's not going to happen under President Trump.
Congressman, are we any closer to a new government, a different government in Cuba?
Well, hopefully every day that passes we are closer, but I'm not sure how close it is. And the Secretary of State is absolutely correct. You can have economic reforms in Cuba, but only when you have political change in Cuba, because the people running the island are completely incompetent. They've run it into the ground. And he's also absolutely correct that Cuba, and I've said this plenty of times on your show, that Cuba poses a national security threat to the interests of the United States. They have spy bases there operated by the Russians and by the Chinese. We know that China is now got the largest navy in the world, and they want to operate a much greater blue water navy, which means they want to extend their power and project their power around the world like we do with our navy, which means I can see the day, one day, where not only will they have Chinese spy bases in Cuba, but also naval bases in Cuba, and then that puts us in grave danger, and it also allows China to have could have control of the Caribbean. And so those are the things that really concern me as far as America is concerned. As a Cuban, I'm also concerned about the freedom of the Cuban people, and we should be the champions of democracy, Stu. We shouldn't tolerate a dictatorship, especially one that's 90 miles from our shore.
And it's on its last legs by the looks of it. Speed up the transition, surely. Congressman, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with us today, sir. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure's mine.